The Stephanie McMahon Ronda Rousey segment I thought was great. I can't say enough good things about what they did with Ronda Rousey over WrestleMania weekend. This was the weekend that Rousey truly arrived. And when people like Jim Ross call her debut the most impactful debut in his 40-plus years that he's been in the wrestling business, he's not wrong. You know, we can sit here and talk about Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar are, you know, two people that have had some of the best first years in the history of WWE, right? Brock had an incredible first year in the company. Kurt Angle had an incredible first year in the company. Ronda Rousey hasn't been here a full year yet. It's still too early to say that. But as far as just a big debut, it's hard for me to think of anybody else who has had the kind of debut and the kind of first weekend that she's had. Think about who she was in the ring with at WrestleMania in her very first match. And winning her very first match. And getting the reaction that she got. I wasn't sure what kind of reaction she was going to get. Because you do have an element of people who come to these shows who just want to, like the Joker might say, they just want to be an agent of chaos. And they just want to, they just want to have their way with the different chants and putting people down who they perceive as like being an outsider, for example. So even though Ronda's a fan, she's not one of us, right? So I thought there would be an element of people who were not going to be fans of hers and were going to boo her out of the building. And at WrestleMania and at Raw the next night, that was not the case. If you had people like that, they got drowned out. She got a huge reaction. I went back, I watched that match, and I still maintain that was the best match at WrestleMania. That was such a fun, entertaining match. And when she got the tap out from Stephanie at the end, the place exploded. They had to be so happy with the reaction they got because it was exactly what they were looking for. They wanted her to get this heroic, monstrous reaction, and they did. It's like the polar opposite of Roman Reigns. It's the exact opposite. That's the reaction they would love Roman to get. And he doesn't. But Ronda got it. And that's why she's going to be a big deal. And now, yes, they rehearsed the match for months, and she can't rehearse that, every time she has a match, she's not going to be able to rehearse it for months and have everything spelled out move for move, like Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat going into WrestleMania 3. But she was more than capable in that match. Her facial expressions, the intensity that she showed, you don't really get that from anybody else on that roster. Now, I still think she smiles too much. I get that she's a fan and she's happy to be there and everything. And I guess it is kind of cool when she's smiling and then on a dime, she goes from like smiling babyface to instant serial killer. But I still think she smiles a bit too much. She's got the Apollo Crews thing going on there. She's got to dial that back a little bit. But she had, as like Jim Ross said, as impactful a weekend as anybody I've ever seen walking in and doing this for the first time. I thought that she silenced a lot of people that were giving her shit in advance who thought that, she sucked or, this is terrible. And I still stand by what I said in my WrestleMania review. I think what they're doing, and I'm okay with this, is they will build to a WrestleMania main event, the first ever women's WrestleMania main event next year in New Jersey. That will be Charlotte against Ronda Rousey. Probably for, let's say, the Raw Women's Championship. I think there is a very, very good possibility that is our WrestleMania main event next year. And if they build it up the right way, I think that's great. I think that could be a great match. I have no problem with that.